Welcome to this episode of the CompTIA Tech Plus Prepcast by baremetalcyber.com. Let's begin. The CompTIA Tech Plus exam FC0-U71 is a timed computer-based certification that measures your ability to understand and apply a wide range of foundational information technology concepts. Knowing exactly how the exam works before test day will help you avoid surprises and give you a clear plan for managing your time and energy. In this episode, we will look at the structure of the test, the types of questions you will encounter, how much time you will have, and how the scoring process works. Understanding these details now means you can spend less mental energy figuring out the mechanics during the exam and more time focusing on answering each question correctly. The exam is made up entirely of multiple-choice questions, which are questions that present you with a list of possible answers from which you must choose the correct one or correct ones. Some questions will only have one right answer, while others will require you to select more than one. There are no performance-based or simulation questions in this version of the certification, which means you will not be dragging and dropping items, typing in commands, or completing live troubleshooting scenarios. Every answer is selected with a point-and-click interface on the exam screen. It is critical to read each question carefully so that you understand whether you are being asked for one correct choice or multiple. Missing that small detail can cost you points even if you know the right information. Each of the 6 domains in the exam is weighted differently, meaning that some domains contribute more to your final score than others. For example, the infrastructure domain and the security domain each represent a larger portion of the exam compared to smaller domains such as data and database fundamentals. This weighting system is important to know because it can guide how you allocate your study time. While you still need to be prepared for every domain, focusing extra attention on higher-weight domains can increase your chances of reaching the passing score. Prioritizing these areas does not mean ignoring the others. It means being strategic about how you manage your preparation. On test day, you can expect to see around 60 questions in total, though the exact number may vary slightly depending on the specific version of the exam you receive. All questions are randomly selected from a large question pool that covers every one of the published objectives. Because the questions are randomized, you cannot predict which topics will appear first or how the domains will be distributed. This makes it especially important to study broadly across all objectives, rather than trying to guess what will appear on your version of the test. The random order also means that you might encounter questions from very different topics back to back, so being able to shift your focus quickly is a valuable skill. You will have a total of 60 minutes to complete the exam, and this time includes reading the instructions, answering all of the questions, and completing a brief post-exam survey. 60 questions in 60 minutes means you have an average of 1 minute per question, so pacing is critical. Some questions will be easier and take less time, while others may require more thought. Practicing under timed conditions before the exam will help you get comfortable with moving quickly when you can, while still leaving enough time for more challenging items. The goal is to avoid running out of time before you have had the chance to answer every question. The exam is delivered using CompTIA's secure online testing platform, which has a clean and functional interface. Navigation is straightforward, with options to move to the next question, go back to a previous one, review all questions, or flag specific questions you want to return to later. You will also see a countdown timer and a progress indicator, so you can keep track of how much time you have left and how many questions remain. Learning how to use these navigation tools during your preparation is important, because efficient movement through the test can save valuable minutes and reduce stress during the timed session. Some questions will require you to select 2 or more correct answers. These multi-answer questions are more challenging because you must choose every correct option to receive credit. Partial credit is not awarded. If the question tells you to choose 3 correct answers and you only select 2, even if they are both correct, you will receive 0 points for that question. This makes careful reading and attention to detail absolutely essential. When you encounter these items, it is worth taking a moment to double-check both the instructions and your choices before moving on. The scoring for the Tech Plus exam is based on a scaled model that ranges from 100 to 900 points. The passing score is 650. The scaling system takes into account both the number of correct answers you provide and the difficulty level of those questions. Some questions may be worth more points than others, but CompTIA does not publish the exact scoring formula or weighting. This means that you cannot calculate your score while taking the test, and the safest strategy is to treat every question as if it is worth the maximum possible points. You should also be aware that some questions in the exam are unscored trial items. These are included by CompTIA to test new questions for future exams, but they look identical to scored items. There is no way to tell which are which, so you must treat every question as if it will count toward your final score. While these unscored items will not affect your result, they do add to the total number of questions you will see, so staying focused from the first question to the last is important. When you finish and submit your answers, your result pass or fail will appear on the screen almost immediately. You will also receive a detailed score report that breaks down your performance by domain, showing where you scored well and where you need improvement. This report is valuable even if you pass, because it can help guide your future study efforts as you prepare for more advanced certifications. You will typically receive either a printed copy at a testing center or a digital copy if you tested online. Managing your time during the exam is just as important as knowing the material. A good strategy is to answer the questions you feel confident about first, flagging the ones you are unsure of for review later. This keeps your momentum going and ensures that you do not spend too much time on a single item. If you return to a flagged question and still cannot decide, it is better to make your best guess than to leave it blank, since there is no penalty for guessing. Familiarity with the format can also help you control test day nerves. Practice exams are a great way to get comfortable with the timing, navigation, and style of questions you will encounter. Pairing this familiarity with basic relaxation techniques, such as steady breathing and a calm, methodical approach, can help you stay focused even under time pressure. The more your exam day feels like a practice run, the more confident you will be in your performance. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. CompTIA offers 2 ways to take the Tech Plus exam, FC0-U71, and choosing the right option can make your test day more comfortable. The first option is to take the exam in person at an authorized testing center. This setting provides a dedicated, controlled environment with professional staff who handle the check-in process and ensure the exam runs smoothly. The second option is online proctoring, which allows you to take the test from home or another private location. This choice can be more convenient, but it requires a quiet space, a stable internet connection, and the ability to meet all technical requirements before test day. Both formats follow strict security protocols, so the exam experience itself will be the same in terms of timing, structure, and scoring. Regardless of which testing method you choose, you will need to present a valid government-issued photo identification to confirm your identity. At a physical testing center, this is part of the standard check-in process, along with storing any personal belongings in a secure location. For online testing, the process includes using your webcam to show your identification, your testing space, and your work area. The proctor may ask you to rotate your camera to give them a complete view of the room. Arriving early for an in-person exam or logging in ahead of time for an online session helps prevent last-minute stress and ensures you have time to address any unexpected issues. If you plan to take the exam online, be sure your computer meets all technical requirements well in advance. This includes having a functioning webcam, a microphone, and a reliable internet connection. CompTIA's testing partner will require you to install secure software that locks down your computer so no other applications can run during the exam. A system readiness check is usually available ahead of time to confirm that your hardware, software, and connection all meet the necessary standards. Interruptions or loss of connection during the exam can lead to your test session being ended, so it is important to have a stable setup. On test day, the session begins with a set of instructions that explain how the exam interface works. There is often an optional tutorial that walks you through navigation tools such as moving between questions, using the flag feature, and reviewing answers before submission. Once the exam officially starts, you will see questions one at a time, with the order randomized. You control the pace and can decide when to move forward, go back, or revisit a question you have flagged. No outside materials, communication, or breaks are allowed during the exam session, whether you are at a test center or online. After submitting your exam, you will receive your result instantly on the screen. If you pass, you will see confirmation along with your scaled score. If you do not pass, the score report will be equally important because it shows how you performed in each domain. Even if you achieve a passing score, the domain breakdown is worth reviewing to identify any weaker areas that you might want to strengthen before moving on to higher-level certifications. High scores in all domains indicate broad mastery, while lower scores in one or two domains can highlight where continued study could be beneficial. If you do not pass on your first attempt, CompTIA allows you to retake the exam. The policy currently allows you to schedule your first retake without a waiting period, but if you need a third attempt, you must wait 14 days before testing again. There is no overall limit on attempts, but each one requires paying the exam fee again. Reviewing your score report after a failed attempt is the best way to focus your preparation for the next try, as it tells you exactly where to concentrate your efforts. To maximize your score on the first attempt, it is important to have a clear exam day strategy. Always answer every question because there is no penalty for guessing. Start by moving through the exam and answering the questions you know without hesitation. This builds your score quickly and ensures you collect all the points you can before tackling the more difficult items. Use the flag feature to mark questions that need more thought and return to them once you have answered the rest. By the time you revisit these flagged items, you may have remembered relevant details from other questions or simply have more time to consider them carefully. Mental preparation is just as important as studying the material. Getting enough rest the night before and eating a balanced meal can make a difference in focus and stamina. Plan to arrive early if testing in person or log in well before your appointment if testing online. Having your identification, confirmation email, and any required setup completed ahead of time reduces stress. Enter the exam with a calm mindset, trusting the preparation you have done, and focus on each question as it appears rather than worrying about the overall score until the end. Practice exams play a critical role in exam readiness. By simulating the actual exam format and timing, they allow you to become comfortable with pacing, question styles, and navigation. Timed practice helps train your ability to manage the 60-minute limit without feeling rushed. Reviewing both correct and incorrect answers after a practice test is essential for reinforcing your strengths and improving weaker areas. Using practice exams regularly, rather than only at the end of your preparation, gives you multiple opportunities to adjust your study plan. It is also important to stay familiar with the official exam objectives throughout your study period. Every question on the exam is linked to one of these objectives, and reviewing them often ensures that your preparation stays aligned with what will actually be tested. This prepcast is designed to match the objectives exactly, so you can be confident that every topic you hear is within the exam scope. Using the episodes as part of a balanced study plan, along with flashcards, quizzes, and domain reviews, will help you approach exam day fully prepared. In our next episode, we will focus on building your study toolkit and creating learning habits that make your preparation more effective. You will learn about useful resources, from apps to books to flashcards, and how to combine them into a Tech Plus study plan that works for you. This shift from understanding the exam format to developing smart study strategies will keep your progress steady and your preparation strong as you move forward. Thanks for listening. Please visit baremetalcyber.com for more cybersecurity information and education, including a new children's series. For more information on books and more, follow us at cyberauthor.me.